Welcome to another episode of the ICTAZ Tech Talk. I am Wazi Sakala, the ICTAZ Communications Officer. The ICT Association of Zambia brings to you more insight into the ICT industry, and today we are at Lupiya, a digital finance service that has managed to penetrate outside Zambia's borders.
So Lupiya is an AI-powered neobank that's providing services here in Zambia and just recently expanded to Tanzania. And Lupiya started in 2016 with my co-founder and I coming out of a failed business. We simply couldn't access a loan from a bank because we didn't have collateral. And so with just 6,800 kwacha, we set out on this dream to build an SME bank for SMEs. And with that, we set out to solve the problem of access to finance for SMEs and individuals. And so it's taken a shift of building Lupiya from a microfinance institution to now positioning Lupiya into a neobank. If you ask entrepreneurs, they are always looking at market trends and demands as a problem that they can solve, particularly for the customer, trying to solve a problem for the customer needs. And now starting to think through what those nuances would be from do we carry out data-driven approaches to handle this approach? Do we look at market demands as an opportunity to really create a solution that can bridge the gap? For so many fintechs like ourselves, it's really bridging the gap between individuals who have access, individuals who don't have, and how can we really create this technology-savvy ecosystem that can then transact, that can save, that can really do anything, get access to a loan. Can we put a bank into the pockets of individuals? And that's what a lot of fintech solutions are trying to do. And when we look at policy around it, can we see a lot of deliberate positioning by so many institutions and how we get together? And I think it's very exciting to see a number of institutions that are driving a lot of the adoption of the policies being set out by the government, and just trying to see how we bridge this ecosystem for both innovators, entrepreneurs, fintechs in particular, and just how we create that ecosystem for everyone. If we are looking at addressing a number of issues that we can work directly with ICTAZ, would be again around policy advocacy. We now have a cybersecurity law in place, and so how do we now start beginning to put the frameworks together where we can adopt them either for fraud, either for any sort of AI innovation that can work between innovators and policymakers, as well as the segments of customers that we serve. How do we start to look at, for example, talent development and how we can create like real certification around really advanced technology talent, right? And how can the ecosystem be supported to make sure that we can have the talent and looking from everything that is coming out on the market today, from AI experts to data scientists, to cybersecurity specialists, now that we have law and framework in place. And so can we see a lot of advocacy there for ICTAZ to really support us in this framework? And yeah, the exciting part is always just getting the innovators and the decision makers together. And I think this is a real thing that ICTAZ can do as a platform to really unify us and really drive this space to make sure that we adopt quickly, we start to look at framework and how do we start to solve all the issues that we're having in the ecosystem and really solve for them very quickly. For Lupiya, it will always be technology, which is really the real enabler in our solution. We're very innovative. And if we look at the journey of Lupiya, we were actually a microfinance entity, saving community groups physically and had a physical branch. And really pivoting Lupiya into a technology or digital product. And post that pivot, 4 years of its operation, and we've been operating for over 8 years now, was a real shift into starting to understand so many different customer segments, the opportunity to really profile our customer bases and look at what segments we can actually leverage, what segments we can actually focus on, what segments we can bring together. And some of the dynamics that it created for us is that we have a focus on supporting underserved markets. For the first time, using technology, we were able to now reach these customer segments. And some would say we typically meet segments that are very technologically savvy. But at the end of the day, these are still underserved communities. And this profiling, again, also creates that opportunity to look at all these customers that don't have the technology or smartphones, for example, that really take them to the levels that most technologically savvy individuals would have. And so really answering that question would be technology as an enabler, and that's been our real biggest lesson and how we've used it to bridge gaps between underserved markets and giving them access to finance. So our customers can find us in two forms, through a web app, which they can go to our website, www.lupiya.com, or they can download our app in the Play Store and the App Store, where they can access a magnitude of financial services, from loans to payments, and they can access an instant loan. They can make investments onto our platform. So it's really a bank in your pockets, and that's what we've been trying to do with our customers.